The legal battle over slavery took its first steps long before America ever declared its independence. This historical backdrop underscored the deep-rooted tensions that would inevitably fuel future conflicts. The debates surrounding freedom and rights became the lifeblood of a nation struggling to define its very essence. With the invention of the cotton gin, the landscape of cotton production transformed dramatically. The South found itself increasingly reliant on slavery, an economic shift that would steer the nation toward an inevitable conflict and civil war. This profound change altered the trajectory of America's history, intertwining its economy with the very fabric of human rights. In an attempt to navigate the contentious waters between slave and free states, the Missouri Compromise emerged. But rather than quelling the storm, this agreement revealed the unsustainable nature of slavery debates. As the Northern population grew, it increasingly challenged this precarious balance, amplifying the tensions that simmered beneath the surface. Meanwhile, President John Tyler engaged in secret negotiations to annex Texas, a maneuver aimed at countering British influence while catering to the interests of Southern slave states. Motivated by political aspirations, these actions were not merely about territorial expansion, they were also his strategic play for re-election. The Mexican-American War further solidified the United States as a military power and catalyzed the belief in manifest destiny. This conviction provided a moral justification for westward expansion, as Americans endeavored to spread their institutions across the continent, often at the expense of others. In 1850, the Compromise sought to bridge the divisions between free and slave states. However, it only served to stoke the fires of dissent. Among its many provisions, the Fugitive Slave Act ignited fury among abolitionists in the North, revealing the deep chasm that divided the nation. The debates between Lincoln and Stephen A. Douglas illuminated the national conflict over slavery, shaping Lincoln's future presidential aspirations, even though he lost the election. These exchanges captured national attention, laying bare the ideological rifts that would soon engulf the country. Then, John Brown emerged as a radical figure in the abolitionist movement, his raid on Harper's Ferry sending shockwaves through the South. His audacity galvanized abolitionists while simultaneously fueling Southern fears of insurrection, illustrating the ever-growing tensions between the North and South. Following Lincoln's election, the secession of Southern states marked a political crisis of enormous magnitude, leading to the establishment of the Confederacy. This moment was pivotal, setting the stage for the brutal reality of the American Civil War. However, the Confederacy faced significant logistical hurdles. The Union's vast network of railroads allowed for quicker troop movements and supply lines, granting the North a strategic advantage that would prove crucial in the unfolding conflict. Amidst these challenges, Confederate President Jefferson Davis found it difficult to unify the member states. Each state often prioritized its own interests over collective actions, complicating the Confederacy's military strategies and undermining their efforts in the war. The first major clash of the Civil War at Bull Run shattered the Union's initial confidence, revealing the war's prolonged nature. This engagement showcased the unexpected resilience of Confederate forces, forever altering the assumptions about the conflict's ease. As the clouds of war gathered, Britain bolstered its military presence in North America and halted the sale of essential materials to foreign nations. This strategic initiative signaled readiness for potential conflict, reflecting the global ramifications of the American Civil War. Early confrontations, like the Battle of Ball's Bluff, illustrated the trials faced by Union forces and underscored the stakes of military engagements. The battle yielded significant Union losses, further revealing their struggles on the battlefield. In this transformative period, technological advancements in naval warfare emerged, leading to the introduction of ironclad warships. The iconic clash between the USS Monitor and CSS Virginia marked a watershed moment in naval combat, altering the dynamics of maritime warfare. The leadership of Confederate General Albert Sidney Johnston proved paramount as he consolidated over 40,000 troops to confront Union forces. Yet, his untimely death during a charge cast a long shadow over the battle's outcome, significantly affecting Southern morale. The Union fleet, commanded by Admiral David Farragut, triumphantly seized New Orleans, taking control of a crucial point along the Mississippi River. This victory not only disrupted Confederate logistics but also unveiled new military opportunities for the Union. However, the inconclusive Battle of Seven Pines resulted in heavy casualties for both sides, prompting dire calls for reinforcements. This brutal clash underscored the relentless struggle for dominance in Virginia, a region fraught with conflict. The Union's introduction of military conscription aimed to bolster their ranks but ultimately ignited resentment among the poor and unskilled populace. This discontent seeped into public perception and influenced the morale of the troops. The Battle of Gettysburg emerged as a key turning point in the Civil War. The Union faced staggering casualties, yet emerged victorious at a crucial juncture, reshaping the course of the war and infusing the North with renewed determination. Amidst this turmoil, the 54th Massachusetts Colored Infantry rose to prominence. Their participation underscored the involvement of African Americans in the war, with their sacrifices embodying the fight for equality and recognition that transcended the battlefield. Then came a dark chapter. The massacre of 175 men and boys ignited outrage among Union leaders, leading to retaliatory strikes against Southern homes and their owners. This incident represented a profound turning point in the conflict, showcasing the war's brutal realities. Union victories at Knoxville and Chattanooga proved significant, disrupting critical supply lines for the Confederacy while allowing Union forces to advance deeper into Georgia. These strategic triumphs were pivotal to the war's ongoing progression. The innovation of submarine warfare was notably marked by the successful sinking of the USS Housatonic by the H.L. Hunley. This development signaled a significant evolution in naval combat tactics during the Civil War, showcasing the ingenuity of warfare. Despite the lack of formal military training, Banks' political connections helped him ascend to command, raising questions about his leadership. His ambition to challenge Lincoln for the presidency influenced many of his military maneuvers. The relentless pursuit of Confederate forces by the Union highlighted the fierce nature of the conflict, leading to significant and often chaotic confrontations. The battle strategies employed by both sides frequently resulted in unpredictable and tumultuous outcomes. Commanders on both sides faced myriad challenges. Taylor's frustrations with inadequate support exemplified the difficulties in organizing effective military strategies, a disarray that ultimately shaped the direction of many battles. General Lee's strategic plans included intricate defenses, crafted to thwart Union advances and showcasing the significance of fortifications in the Civil War. This approach would profoundly influence military engagements in the months to come. As the siege progressed, Lincoln's leadership was tested. The threat of Confederate forces loomed over Washington, D.C. His responses included rapid troop redeployments, emphasizing the urgency of protecting the nation's capital. Sherman's campaign in Georgia culminated in the capture of Atlanta, a decisive turning point in the war. This triumph not only bolstered Union morale but also provided strategic advantages that would reshape the future of the conflict. The final battles of the Civil War are marked by the moment when Confederate General Lee surrendered to Union General Grant. This significant act symbolized the collapse of the Confederacy and took place at Appomattox Courthouse on April 9, 1865, forever altering the nation's history. In the aftermath of the war, former Confederate soldiers grappled with their reintegration into society, with many falling into lives of crime. Historical figures like Frank and Jesse James embodied the struggles faced by those who found themselves on the fringes of legality. Despite the abolition of slavery, African Americans encountered persistent oppression and systemic segregation. The absence of genuine efforts for integration led to a host of ongoing issues that would linger for more than a century. For many descendants of Confederates, their heritage is believed to reflect core American values, igniting fervent discussions about the appropriateness of maintaining Confederate symbols in public spaces. These conversations are often laden with emotions and historical interpretations. Historians argue against the notion of erasing the Confederacy from historical records. They insist on the importance of confronting the less palatable aspects of our past to ensure that we do not repeat the mistakes that led to such immense suffering. Cody Mars posits that Confederate memorials serve more as reflections of American memories than as sincere tributes. This perspective emphasizes the complexities surrounding historical interpretation and the narratives we choose to uphold.